Oye! Trina Christine Mason here. I just wanted to tune in and tell you thank you. I haven't really taken the time to sit still and be with you and tell you how grateful I am for you. I'm sure that you know that I wouldn't be where I'm at right now if it wasn't for your prayers, your intentions, your love, your kindness, your constant investment in the seed that is known as the name of Trina. Okay? Some of you have provided financial support. Excuse my autism and my stuttering, or whatever aspect you like to make fun of me for, to bring you pleasure and joy, okay? Some people are into humiliation, and I don't mind the humiliation, especially when you're humiliating me into being a better human being. And I encourage you to question me, but most of all, question yourself. Question your inner narrator, who's constantly judging and having emotional attachments. And feel free to question your own beliefs. That's very important in order for you to grow as a person. Otherwise, you're stagnant and limited in your belief systems. Something I've been doing lately is listening to Ramachandran. Excuse me if that's not how you say his name. He's a doctor, a neurologist at that, a man who specializes in the brain and dealing with traumatic injuries. He's very famous for his mirror box. Now, if you haven't heard of this, I encourage you to look into him and just study as much as you can about the human consciousness that you can, because wouldn't you want to know about the brain, the thing that makes you and your consciousness? Don't you want to know how you have no control over your thoughts, yet at the same time how you can create a thought with your intention and say, hey, I'm beautiful today, or I'm successful today, I'm luxurious. Now, you also have to notice your ego. Notice what you value. Notice what makes you degrade others, what you look down upon, what you don't like in yourself, what you don't value in society. Now, instead of pointing fingers and shunning it and avoiding it, meditate on what you can do to add to it in order to eliminate it, how you can transcend that negative energy and turn it into a positive energy. You don't have to. However, I've chosen to create this podcast, or this educational seminar, if you will, as a free guided meditation to take you deep inside yourself. But it's up to you to give yourself permission to actually go inside yourself and give yourself permission to really access all these feelings of desire. Admit your desire. Then recognize how your desires are controlling you, owning you, and manipulating you and others. Notice if you are controlled by fear. And if you are behaving in ways because you're afraid of being alone, you're afraid that this is all you'll have. Stories. Okay? Attachments to narratives, people, places, and things. Now, I'm a firm believer of true love. For me, true love means I always tell the truth, and that it's unconditional, that I don't love you because you're like me or because you do nice things for me. I love you because you're you. Your individualism, everything that you are, everything that makes you different. You know, something that I like to point out is your purpose is sometimes your greatest shadows. The things that you can't stand about yourself, that everyone's always pointing out how you're so different, and how every time you're around, you make them think like this, or you make them act like that, or you do this or that. That's your purpose, okay? Sometimes you may think that the things that are making you a bad person, such as you talk a lot, what if that's like your greatest gift? Because some people just can't open up and talk at all. There's a lot of different shadows and a lot of different elements, but what matters most is how you feel about yourself. That's been the greatest lesson at all. It has nothing to do with the house that you have, or where you are, or what you own, or what you keep. It's a matter of being content, doing nothing and having nothing, and finding yourself to be happy. This makes me think of a chant of devotion. I learned this at the Amrit Institute. It's a chant I love to sing, and it's just something that's great to bring the community together. It reminds me of a health to the company. It goes, hey ho, nobody home, meat nor drink nor money have I none. Still I will be merry, very merry, eh, oh, nobody home, meat nor drink nor money have I none. Still I will be merry, hey, ho, nobody home. Meat nor drink nor money have I none. Still I will be merry, very merry. I'm struggling to enter a submissive, vulnerable state of my voice because I'm not allowing myself to enter those energetic states at this time, because I find it to be important for me to revitalize myself and accessing my inner warrior at this time. However, I did learn that chant from a man known as the name Chandrakant. I would love to find him again. I'm sure he's all over YouTube. And I would love to tune into his seminars like every single week or as often as he does them. I think he does them every Thursday. Chandrakant. I could be wrong. All I know is that he's at the Amaranth Institute. He should be on their official website, but wow, did that person change my life. You know, there's a big ego part of me that wants to drastically move to Bellingham, Washington, because I've lived in Florida for 27 years of my life, so I love the idea of just doing something different and going somewhere new. I'll admit there's a huge chance that I might not even like it because I'm so conditioned and used to Florida. I love the heat, I love the water. I know where to go, I know everybody here. But I kind of love the idea of the drastic change. And I would love to have your support and your encouragement of pushing me and encouraging me and supporting me to make these moves. Even if, you know, that means I move farther away from you. If you really love me, I feel like you're going to help me get to where I really want to go. And maybe if I decide I want to come back, maybe you'll help me come back too. I'm not really sure what the future holds. I'm just noticing all my desires, and I'm attempting to do everything I can to access these realms of myself and be in this process of development towards my larger goals. I can't lie, I am enjoying my time to myself and focusing on my own personal motivations, you know, and the things that are here in Florida. As long as I'm here in Florida, I'd like to continue going to the Amaranth Institute. I'd love to participate in more experiences there. I'd love to travel and take you to places and especially restaurants and show you authentic individual reviews. And I thought it would be funny for me to do authentic reviews, meaning like you see my genuine facial expression and that I'm honest, that like I didn't like how this tasted, or this one tasted better, or like these don't fit right, or like stories. Okay, I love to tell stories. I'm a great storyteller, and some of you have seemed to have enjoyed listening to my storytelling. And I would love to continue entertaining you, and I would love to continue being of service, doing my energy work and developing myself as a shamanic healer and a spiritual guide. I've been loving those developments. I'll admit I have entered a superior dark state, like basically since the, like, I want to call it sexual abuse, okay? Like, I had my boundaries crossed going to the massage therapist, and I wasn't expecting it. And there was part of it that, like, felt good and caught you off track. But at the same time, like, that's not supposed to happen. Even if in other countries it is, like, commonly known to release you in those ways. And there are scientific, energetic, like, backgrounds in those releases. But I'm, like, so into, like, I guess you could say the metaphysics of lovemaking and those type of energetic releases. So like for me, this is just like a whole nother enlightening experience. But basically, like, I feel like a lot of things have been going wrong. Like on Mother's Day, like I had got MRSA, and then I thought I was going to get surgery. And, you know, now I'm just like putting this on the back burner. I'm trying just to recenter myself and refine myself in a way that makes me happy. Finding out, what do I really want to do? If Trina has $1 million, what does she really want to do? How does she want to spend her time? And I can't lie, part of me just wants to sit inside and to read and to study and to go within. Like, if I could just do that for a while and go to college, I think, like, that's what I would want to do. I want to learn things. I would love to continue studying neuroscience. I just got this book called Thinking Fast and Slow. I was trying to listen to the 10-hour video of the audiobook, but it just became so difficult. So I've been taking my time, taking chunks by chunks, reading this book on System 1 and System 2. It's basically brain functions. For anybody that ever wanted a manual on the brain, I think that this is a perfect description for what this book is. This book certainly isn't for everybody, and I'm attempting just to put myself through challenging circumstances where I'm noticing myself change as a person, and I'm seeing effects in my own personal development that are just making me being able to have a narrator that tells great stories about the self, such as, wow, I really ate good today, instead of like, wow, I ate 5 chocolate bars today. I've been working out a lot more. I've been putting on high heels and purposely doing squats and things like that, accessing some inner feminine. And I thought about doing some live streams like that too, you know, but again, like, why am I going to keep putting in personal energy and investments into things, you know, if people don't want to give back, you know what I mean? Like, I live to serve and all, and I love to give energy and release myself and drain myself of all this I have to give, all that energy and love and just service I have to offer. But at the same time, like, it's important for me to respect my personal boundaries and to basically build up my personal energy instead of just giving it all away. You understand? There's so many feeders and people that'll just take your personal energy. So it's up to you to command your boundaries and just say, no, not today. And something I'm really, really good at is I'm what's called an empath. So I'm really good at listening. And especially listening to your subconscious. So if you want to open up to me and tell me all about your psychological issues, if you have like a therapist and you feel like the therapist isn't helping and you need someone to really feel you, that's me. I'm the empath. I feel your feelings. If you don't know how you feel and you feel like you're catatonic and you're disconnected from your own personal emotions, I also make an excellent conduit at helping you basically interview yourself, where I take you on a guided meditation into yourself. I work best with private relationships. So like anybody that's had the honor of working with me privately on a private one-to-one phone session or video session, because facial expressions certainly help in understanding you and you understanding me and reading eye contact and whatnot. It's been quite fascinating, again, developing myself, and I'm excessively hungry to continue studying, but it's hard to just be submissive and vulnerable into my studies when I'm constantly, at this time in my youth, at 28, where I'm like working and going to school type aspects. You understand? Like, I can't just like completely relax and be like, oh well, all the bills are paid, you know. But I'm also noticing that like my bills aren't necessarily like a lot. Like, I believe my bills are $1,500 a month, like, and I think that's everything, you know, and that might even include food. But obviously I probably could like spend more, you know what I mean? But like right now, those are the things where I guess you could call them present attachments, right? Like, maybe I don't necessarily need to have Wi-Fi, but right now this is my business, right? So I'm able to use that as a business expense. But at the same time, there's all this gray area, tons of gray area of personal development, and figuring out my desires is complicated, especially with the existence of the ego and it constantly telling me negative stories, or having to constantly reprogram the subconscious and noticing where the subconscious was programmed and noticing its triggers and understanding the way the brain works. That's kind of been like my newest addiction, is trying to understand like when that happens, how the brain works. You can tell I'm bored. And some levels I've become like bored with life. Like, I used to be really, really ego driven and be like, man, I really just want to be an actress and I want to be in movies and I'll be Betty White and I'll inspire people. And then like, I'll be like Pam Anderson and Angelina Jolie, and I'll be like this, like Charlie's Angels type Lucy chick who's just really hardcore. And like, now like my ego's more like, maybe I should take an MMA class, and maybe I should go back to college and study neuroscience and biochemistry and physics and get to the math lab as soon as possible. And again, like, a lot of this is like ego, you know what I mean? Like, if I had, let's just say $100,000, maybe like like, who knows how Trina would act differently. And I'm constantly like experimentally accessing these paradigms of my own personal mind, trying to see like what is really gonna make Trina happy. Like sometimes Trina gets very egotistical and Trina's like, all right, I need food to make me happy right now. Or like, it could be something so simple, like I need to wash all my dishes right now. I need to like put away all the laundry, and then like I'll feel valuable and I'll feel like, all right, I did something. But like there's also other levels of hunger, of ego, of where I'm like determined to do something that not only is better for Trina's tomorrow, but when Trina is no longer here, what is the footprint that is left? I would love to plant trees. I would love to create more poetry and new like seeds of ideas planted inside of people's minds, especially people who are subconsciously programmed to hate themselves and to hate others, and that find it difficult to be happy, especially without drugs or any form of addiction, sexual. I mean, we have so many different elements that are used to escape, and that makes us feel good. People, places, things, foods, right? Taste, our senses. We use our senses to escape. So I ask you to use your senses to bring you back to your center, to focus. What are you hearing? When you focus on what you can hear, maybe your inner dialogue won't talk so bad to you. Or maybe if you hear the negative self-talk, you can say, oh, that was a strange thought. Or that is not my thought. There's all these different levels of aspects of mentality, and honestly, like, I'm by no means any professional. But little girl me was taught that the only difference between professionals and amateurs is that professionals get paid. So I guess you can say I'm a professional empath. I've been doing readings professionally for, I want to say 3 years now. I would love to like do some homework and investigate my personal date of commitment to doing actual readings. I'm dealing with so many different paradigms and so many different access levels of consciousness, and I'm just, again, attempting to stay focused and centered and find things that motivate me. I'm really thrown off my inner compass now because my original plan was, okay, I'm gonna have this getaway in Bellingham, Washington, and explore this guy and figure out if like he's really sweet and if, you know, it's gonna work out romantically and all that jazz of relationship with this person or not. And so I assumed that, okay, so once I had my joy in that level of romance and experience, that I would come home and go straight to work. Now, when I come home, basically I'm told that all the cleaning properties, like, that it's dead season right now, so people aren't renting rental properties, so all the cleaning ladies are hurting right now, is the story that I'm hearing. I don't know how true that is, but I'm hearing that story. Then simultaneously, I'm dealing with like this horrendous weather when I could have like gone downtown and talked to all the tourists and say, hi, I'm Trina, would you like a reading? I'm working on my own personal development and being more comfortable with rejection and stepping up to people and asking them like extreme questions. And man, it's really helped with my confidence and my development of my personal character. And I gotta admit, like, you can only do it through personal experience, you know what I mean? Like, I can narrate in my head time and time again rebuttals and things about sales and pushing like tarot readings or empathic readings, or like, I'm not a manipulative person. I mean, I'll admit that like sometimes when my ego really wants something, it thinks that it can trick me and others into getting what it wants. But overall, as a person, it doesn't bring me joy knowing that like I had to like do something shady in order to get what I want, you know what I mean? Like, I find more joy in the person who wants to do something for me because they want to. Not because I told them like, oh my God, I need help. Like, I never, ever want to communicate how I need help. Ever. I never want to ask for help. I'm very committed to being independent to myself. And I noticed where people are codependent, even there are times where I have become more comfortable doing things with others than doing things alone. And I'm working on my personal self-development in that house too. And I think that taking an MMA class will excessively help with that if I can learn how to basically destroy with my hands. And I can't lie, there's part of me that enjoys the idea of being a chick in combat with high heels. Of course, there's a little inner kid that's just like, hoorah, about that, okay? Just because of like the subconscious programming and the way society has been to me personally and others as I've seen. And I'm not trying to take it personal, I'm just noticing these things. And I'm in a personal addiction to self-development. And it's also been pleasurable working intimately with so many other people. And oh man, I'm just so thankful. I'm so thankful. Like, I would not be where I'm at right this second without the love, the support, and the constant investment in me. And I'll admit there's been a lot of people who have just disappeared. Like people who I thought were my best friends, or people who I thought were truly agents to my happiness, and people who were never going to go away. And then like when they treat me bad and they express like brattiness and they're being rude and disrespectful or harmful or have the intention of harming me, like it kind of catches me off guard. However, I'm also like in the process of becoming a Zen master, right? I suppose that could be the narration of the Buddhism, so excuse the ego. But like, with that being said, the intention of using that narrative or story is because I am attempting to become a never-ending forgiving person. Not that I'm constantly going to allow people to cross my boundaries, but at the same time, I'm very compassionate and understanding and forgiving. And it's been fascinating studying human psychology and understanding liars, cheaters, thieves, and all of those things. But frankly, sometimes it's like it's not enough. It's like, I need to know more information. I do not have all the facts gathered. I would like some credentials, some educational credentials that give me more of a respective background. Yeah. Meow. George is concerned because of the hurricane. I'm just trying to keep calm and keep cool. I got mad shoulder tensions. I would love a massage so bad. So bad. I'm like, who's buying? You buying? I'll go somewhere safe. God, I'm so like stressed and tense. And just a lot of it is just a level of confusion at being unable to make the decision which way to generate the self. And attempting to just stay centered and focus and not making any moves until you are 100% certain. I'm fighting my ego so hard. Like, I just received like a bag of hemp seed and a giant bag of cacao. And both bags are like nearly empty already, just to show you like symbolism of just like